Welcome YouTube to Pawn Man. My name's Evan Kale. I own a gold and silver business. If you guys have never seen this show before, it's a reality show about my job. It's my job both to educate you and entertain you about how my business works. I have no idea what's gonna walk through that door. Could be anything, and odds are I'll buy it. So strap in and prepare yourself, because this is Pawn Man. In full confession, you guys, this is my first episode in the new store. We just opened up. I haven't had a ton of walk-in traffic, so I'm probably gonna be filming this over the course of like a week. So if I change clothes, that's why. Contrary to popular opinion, I don't wear the same thing every day. The walls are looking a little bit bare. I have some decor now. I have this Russian general painting. I don't know what this is. I bought it in an antique shop because it's cool. And then this actually could be worth a decent amount of money. This is an original Dietrichson painting. It's an oil painting. I only paid 200 bucks for it. Again, it's a one-of-one signed by the artist. He's pretty well known. I got it through a friend and I could not believe the deal he gave me on that painting. I was like, really? You're gonna sell me an original for 200 bucks? All right. I'm not gonna resell it. I like it too much. Of all the weird art that he showed me, these two pieces spoke to me. I'll show you the other two pieces that I got. I have this old map of Afghanistan. I know nothing about it, just that it's kind of cool. And I have this cool like ancient Egyptian kind of, whatever you want to call this. I don't know if you want to call it a print or it's ancient Egyptian art. You get the picture. I know very little about art. I'd like to get more into it and expand into it. It's something I want to start buying here at the shop. But the thing with art is, oh God, you gotta be an expert. There's so many fakes out there and you can get burned so easily in the art world. One thing at a time. Right now, I only have one chair. When Juliet is here, she gets the chair and I stand. She's not here today. But this is where we're gonna be doing most of the buying from here. And then the counters here, mostly here. And this crown thing my mom made for me. I like the crown. I mean, like I didn't ask her to make it, she just made it. And I was like, oh, cool, okay, I'll put it up. But then she wanted to buy me a throne. Like she wanted to buy me a literal throne to sit beneath it. And it's like, well, let me get this straight, Mom. You want me to rip people off from a throne with a crown above my head? I'm ballsy, but not that ballsy. I mean, I wouldn't say I rip people off, but I buy low and sell high like any good businessman. Yeah, I stand by what I said. So in the month from where I quit the last shop to opening up this shop, I was, well, you guys saw the Between the Pawn. I was hustling out of my apartment. And it's been really good having people selling me stuff digitally. If you have something at home you want to sell me, just DM me. I buy most things. I bought too much, shall we say, random crap that I shouldn't have. But a lot of the stuff I bought is pretty cool. So one of the items that I bought, I might have shown this off in Between the Pawn, but this is a Salvador Dali spoon that was made in 1967. He made 1,000 of them. He made like a whole like dinner set, and they're very rare, very hard to find. It's stamped with his initials here, and one of my Patreon supporters sold this to me. So thank you, Mike, I really appreciate it. And honestly, I am surprised I haven't sold this right away. I made a video, a TikTok about it when I got it, and I got several inquiries about it. I'm trying to get 500 bucks on it. I paid $2 for it. I found one that went at auction 2 years ago for, I think it was like $420 or something like that. So, you know, art has appreciated and collectibles have appreciated in COVID. I feel 500 is fair. And this is something I'm willing to sit on. I had somebody offer me 350, I turned it down. I would just like some idiot to pick this up and like have no appreciation of the art. Like, but it's not a very functional spoon. How would you, like, it'd be kind of hard to use. Where's the practicality in it? So this is cool. And also from another one of my Patreons, I acquired this Carson City, this 1883 BU Carson City silver dollar, and this antique pamphlet that came with it about the Carson silver dollars. I did overpay a little bit. I paid $340 for the pair here. I mean, you know, I should have tried to buy this for $250. It was a Patreon supporter and it was part of a larger deal. Like I'm trying to get $400 on these, so I'm trying to make 60 bucks on it. And we'll see, I'm still sitting on it. I mean, this is something I don't mind sitting on for a long time because it's cool. And now that I have a display case here, I mean, I can make videos about it. It's great for the store. But sinking money into stuff sucks. It's good to get your money out. I'll show you guys these too. So I used to collect autographs when I was a kid, and I've got a pretty big collection. And it's not doing me any good. And I'm like, it's kind of like my childish decor because I thought it was so cool when I was younger, and I'm like not gonna display them anymore. I had like an old movie room in my house that I grew up in, and I don't know, I've grown out of displaying things like this. So I'm not really interested in them anymore, but they're worth kind of a lot of money. So I'm gonna start selling them off now. So I'll show you guys. I went to my parents' place to do that road trip, and I went through their attic and I found all of them, so I'm gonna be selling them off. But here's a couple that I got right here. So I got Robert Englund, who plays Freddy in Nightmare on Elm Street, the band Linkin Park, and obviously he died, and as a result of that, his autograph is worth a lot more. Okay, so the thing with autographs, I think I might have covered this before on my show. Autographs is a very, maybe I'll cover this at length in another episode, but it's a very morbid hobby because you want people to die when you have their autograph. The younger and more tragically somebody dies, the more their autograph is worth. So obviously when you have something like a suicide, something very scandalous, it makes the autograph worth a lot of money. I'm trying to get $100 on this one. I'm trying to get $375 on this. I've seen these going for $500. I'm willing to par with it for less. And then I got Austin Powers, signed by Mike Myers, Seth Green, Heather Graham, and then Pulp Fiction in a really shitty frame that broke, signed by basically the entire cast. This one I want at least $500 on. I let this one go for $125. So yeah, I'll show you guys more of my autographs in a later episode, and I guess maybe I'll talk about autographs at length and how you go about collecting autographs. Oh, finally the bullshit's come to an end. So one thing I have not been advertising because I've been a little bit embarrassed that this happened is the city that I'm in, they didn't zone me for retail. This building, like there's a whole fucking bunch of bullshit I had to go through at this city, and I, for 3 weeks, was offices. I could buy, but I couldn't sell. So like my display cases were empty. I just put that stuff in today. So finally, I'm a dwelling permit, so I'm good. But oh my God, that was so annoying. Thank God. I shouldn't shit talk the city, but the guy that I talked to at the city when I was going through like trying to make all this official and make this work, sounded like he was right out of the show Parks and Recreation. Like, all the wheels of bureaucracy never turn quickly. Like this guy like probably has never had an exciting day in his life. All right, I just sold a coin. I paid $100 for this on an eBay auction about a year and a half ago. It's a 1924 proof-like peace dollar, and I got 125 for it. I probably could have asked for more, but I've done a lot of business with the person that bought it, so I cut him a good deal, and I'm profiting on it, so I'm happy to sell it. And this is for my personal collection, and I'm like, I don't want to sell my personal collection, but now because I have my own store, I'm gonna be getting so much stuff coming in that like I may as well just start turning stuff. And like if I really like stuff in the future, when I'm in a better financial position, I can pocket it for my own collection. But for right now, I got a business to run. So let's package this up. In the bag. Well, thanks to TikTok, I just did pretty big numbers in sales. I'll show you guys what I just sold. So this Pokemon Southern Islands set of 5, I bought these from a follower for $280. I just sold them for $360. And the Pokemon cards in general, I guess this is my first really good experience with them. I bought some sports cards, some football cards, some baseball cards, some basketball cards. Probably got about $400 or $500 tied up into all of it. I don't know shit about sports cards, and I don't really have a good way of marketing it or selling it just because like I kind of don't know what I'm showing. And it's like kind of a lot of work for me to lay out hundreds of cards and like try and find a buyer for them. I don't know what I'm gonna do with them. Obviously I'm gonna try and sell them. But I kind of learned my lesson with cards. I guess I would buy graded cards as long as they're not terribly expensive, because when a card is graded, that assesses a value. Like same thing with a coin. When a coin has been graded, you know exactly what it's worth. When it's a loose card, you don't know, and you really gotta be an expert. I'm not an expert with Pokemon cards, but I definitely know Pokemon cards, and this seemed like a good buy. So I was willing to take a chance on it. I'm glad I did. I have this Athenian owl. I sold 3 of these for $200 a couple weeks ago, and then I found I had one more. It's from 2017, it's a proof. I got $60 on this, and right now the spot price is 27 something. I mean, not that the spot price matters. We're basically like with the silver squeeze right now in the demand. The spot price doesn't reflect the market price. The market price is much higher than the spot price right now. I sold Robert England to somebody who lives in Australia. It's my first international sale. So I got $140 including shipping for this. Oh, this is so exciting. This is my biggest deal that I've done so far since being on my own. I have 9 100-ounce bars of silver coming in here from a guy that I work with around town. I'm not gonna have the camera rolling for the deal because I don't wanna mess with it. It's, it's a really big deal. But oh my gosh, this is like a $25,000 deal. This is so exciting. It's just kind of crazy to think about how far I've come in this business and how I've just changed and how many different things I've learned and these new tactics that I'm using and like what my workday looks like versus what it looked like when I started working in this business. So I'm looking at my showcase here. It's all set up now, and I'm trying to think, what do I want to sell from here? See, I like this display of stuff, and I don't really want to sell all of it because I don't know how easily I'm going to be able to get new material in, and I want to have good stuff for my shop. I want people to come in here. I love selling online, don't get me wrong, and I love what I'm doing. I don't only want to be online. I opened up a store for a reason, so I want to keep some good inventory here. Let's see if I can't sell those football cards. There are just over 200 cards in this collection. All right, well, my metal guy just left. I just closed the deal. This is the biggest deal that I've done in this business by about $11,000. 25 grand is what I just spent on 900 ounces of silver. Damn, that's a lot of fucking silver. And now I gotta sell this shit right away because I'm operating on, I don't wanna tell you exactly how much, but this just ate up a sizable amount of my operating capital. So I need to flip this like right now. So I'm gonna text a couple of my wealthy clients. I don't do cars on this show yet, but I do have to show off this car because it's so cool. This is a pallbearer's car. It's an old Cadillac from, I think, like 1999 or 2000. I am way into cars, and I saw this thing rolling up, and I was like, oh my God, is that cool. Awesome treasures every day here at St. Louis Park Gold and Silver. I'm gonna show you guys some rare stones I acquired. So the guy who sold me all of the 100-ounce bars, he's an industrial smelter. He's got like a big company here in town. He had a bag of all this sterling silver, like these beautiful pendants. He sold me the whole bag for 60 bucks, and like, I mean, I bet I'll make at least 500 bucks off the bag. Check these out. These stones right here, these are Picasso stones. These are bloodstones. Picasso stones are metamorphic limestones that get their color from heat and pressure deep inside the earth. The line patterns that you see here are formed by iron oxides. Generally, they come in rusty brown, black, yellow, white, gold. They make it resemble kind of an abstract landscape. Not really these ones, but this one here in particular. Just a beautiful stone in color. And then these right here are bloodstones. A bloodstone is a crystalline mixture of quartz that occurs mostly as jasper. Sometimes it can be translucent, and the red inclusions look like blood spots, hence the name bloodstone. Like I said, I got a whole bag of these beautiful pendants. I only paid 60 bucks, and I'm asking like 60 bucks for each pendant, so. Big dollar signs in my eyes. Okay, so for today's informative part of the episode, we are gonna be talking about militaria. Now, what is militaria? Militaria are military items collected for historical significance to add to one's personal collection, a love of collecting all things military. So such examples of military equipment can include guns, swords, knives, ammunition, badges, uniforms, like any kind of a weapon. If it's affiliated with a combat of some kind, a known war, something involving the military, a known military, then it's militaria. Generally, when we think of militaria, we think of within the last 150, 200 years of warfare. At least that's how you're gonna find most collectors tend to focus their collections on. Really, the bulk of militaria is like World War II. That's not to say that that's all of it, but a lot of collectors focus on World War II. In fact, most of the items that I'm gonna be showing you here are from World War II, that kind of era. Militaria has been popularized due to anniversaries of battle. In fact, militaria has gotten quite a bit bigger in the last 20 years just because, you know, we've recently hit the 70th anniversary of World War II. I'd say it started to get its modern popular boom around 2000 when the movie Saving Private Ryan and then subsequently Band of Brothers came out. That did a lot to popularize World War II and the militaria items of World War II. And just like a lot of people like collecting military stuff. I myself think it's very cool. I don't have a personal collection of it, I just have stuff in the store. Some collections of militaria focus on single items, example, perhaps Civil War muskets, or only badges, or only certain kinds of uniforms. Other people will focus on a conflict itself, i.e. World War II, World War I, Civil War, etc. Some people just don't care, they just like cool military stuff. And these can also play out as good investments if you know what you're doing. For example, a German paratrooper uniform, something that went for $500 20 years ago goes for several thousand now. So if you know what to get, when to get it, you can do well. Other items do decrease in value. I mean, generally we have historical items. The older they get, the more they go up. But some items can just explode in popularity, and sometimes it's for random reasons. Example, coronavirus made sports cards explode. Something in popular culture, i.e. a movie like Saving Private Ryan, might kick off, and like it did for World War II items, a huge demand for a certain kind of militaria. You do need to be careful of boom items that just take off overnight because of something from pop culture, but then plummet once the demand for it dies. The other thing that's hard to know about militaria, and where you need to be somewhat of an expert, or at least kind of well-versed in what you're doing, there's a lot of fakes out there. You need to be certain that what you're buying is genuine and is not a reproduction. And you can kind of tell, even if you don't know exactly what you're doing, just using common sense. For example, I had somebody recently send me photos of a saber they wanted to sell me. And I'm not an expert in militaria by any means, but I could tell simply by looking at how new, he had a photo of the sword taken out of the sheath, and like this part of the sheath, which is wood, it looked brand new. Like brand new. There's no way that this thing that was 150 years old was in that good a condition. And the handle itself looked like it was made from more modern materials. You just need to keep your eyes out and be aware of what modern materials consist of. So like for example, polyester. If you find a uniform that's made out of polyester from World War II, it's a reproduction. They didn't have polyester, they had cotton. So I'll show you guys some militaria that I have available here at the shop. So I actually bought all this stuff on my buy trip. It's a mix of badges and medals. I think this is like a drill sergeant whistle. United States Navy, I assume that's what USN stands for. 1944, look at that. 10 hut! The neighbor's deaf, he sells tombstones, he can't hear me, I hope. And I believe this one is actually from World War I, just because it says field siren on it. And when stuff has kind of like an old-timey kind of a name, that generally it's a good indicator that A, it's authentic, and B, it's old as hell. Charge! And die. Just kind of going over these. I don't know what rank these are from. United States Prominent Officer Badge. Some Marine Corps tie clip. World War I U.S. Warrant Officer. I think it's a hatback. Soviet Union. U.S. Army Qualification Badge. A Lenin pin. I bought this in an antique shop. These are all men right before they went off to World War I. Even something like this would count as militaria. So in conclusion, when buying militaria, just use common sense. Look at what an item is made out of. Look at how much they're charging for it. Look online, see what similar examples go for, because it's very easy for people to price gouge items like this. You can say, oh, well, it's this rare thing, and then hike up the price, when you can simply do a little bit of research online and find what stuff is worth. I would also advise from a collection standpoint, have an area of focus. Either have it be one theater of combat or like one specific war or like one kind of thing that you collect. Because if you ever find yourself having to liquidate your collection, it's a lot easier to liquidate a collection when it's all kind of the same thing than when it's a whole mix match of stuff. And that's my segment on militaria. Well, it is the end of the episode. As you guys can see, I'm still working on getting my name out. I haven't had a ton of walk-in traffic yet, so hopefully in the next couple episodes that improves and we can go back to doing deals. I'm a brand new store, so it's all kind of stuff that's happening online. If you guys like this video, be sure you hit the thumbs up button, hit the notification button so you know when new episodes of Pawn Man are out. Be sure you follow me on social media at Evan Kale and at Pawn Man. Become a Patreon supporter of Pawn Man. There's a link in the video description. I could really use your guys' help. And I guess I will see you back here for another episode of Pawn Man. Later, guys.